Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You can't be laughing in the intro. Welcome back to the Mr. Fake Me and Manhater podcast. I am the Manhater.
And I'm Mr. Pick Me.
Yeah, you are.
We did it.
We both contributed. As you know, these names were given to us lovingly by a troll on the internet. Despite the fact that I don't hate men, and Chesko's been picked.
I did. I was.
What?
I
I
was.
did?
I did is not the right.
Oh, wow. What a great start.
As
Anywho.
always.
Today we are talking about a very topical topic. Something that a lot of people are talking about. If you don't
Mhm.
know, there was a video on the internet of a man doing like a street interview with women, and he asked a very important question, which was, if you were in the woods, would you rather run into a bear or a man? And overwhelmingly, the response was a bear from the
Yeah.
women. And shockingly enough, Chesko, the men did not like said response.
What?
What? And so there were a lot of responses from said men that one could categorize as bad advice. So we're going to
No.
be, I know,
No. On the internet?
on the internet, men giving bad advice. We're going to break down what the debate is, our thoughts on it, and some videos from men who are responding from all different categories. And we're also going to talk about, there was a response from a woman talking about a very certain case involving a woman, a bear, and a man. That ended horribly, where she said it proves the fact that the bear is the worst of the two, when I argue the bear was the one who did the killing, but the man was the one responsible. So,
And I've seen none of these videos other than the original interview. So this will be great. Theme song.
You want bad advice, man? I'll give it out gladly. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. Shit.
the first interview was done by Screenshot. I don't know if you've heard of Screenshot, but they did a like on the street interview, and the question was, as we said, would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear? The final tally was 1-7. Out of 8
Okay.
women, only one said they would rather be with a man.
The thing is, even like I don't even understand how people get upset in general. Like if I'm in the woods and there's a random man that I run into there, I'm absolutely gonna be more terrified than if I saw, because a bear, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, the bear is supposed to be there. That's the
Right,
bear's
right.
home.
I'm in the bear's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my fault.
I'm trying to think of all of my favorite responses. To your point, if a bear is in the woods, it's because they live there. If a man is in the woods, he might have followed me.
Mm,
The worst a bear can do is kill me. Hint, hint at the other things that men do.
yeah.
If I'm dead, the bear will leave me alone.
Mm,
If a bear attacks me, everyone will believe me.
wow.
That's a good one. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Nobody will ask what I was wearing if the bear kills me. And then someone commented once that if they were attacked by a bear, they know the bear would be put down.
Mm,
Scolding.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me because when that question was asked, I just literally had to pause and think for a second. I was like, well, a bear's predictable. A bear's not going to lie to you about its intentions. If a bear's aggressive, it's aggressive, versus a man
Mhm.
could literally, like, you look at like oh my God, the guy who would pretend he had his arm injured and he'd put his arm in a sling and then get women in his van.
No, what?
Oh, the serial killer, Bundy.
I don't. Did he? I didn't even know that was his method.
Yes.
So I'm not. I don't watch enough serial killer documentaries and things.
Yeah, one of the ways he would get women is first of all, he was very charming. He was attractive. He would put his
Mhm.
arm in a sling and he'd act like he needed help.
Wow.
Spoiler.
What? Yeah.
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 So I was like, because that's like, if a bear's aggressive, if a
Mhm.
bear is calm, and there's a protocol with bears. Like, there's things you
Mhm.
can do to
Mhm.
hopefully limit the chances of an encounter. versus like a man in the woods.
And also, like, go ahead. Sorry, I want to cut you off.
That's the only time you've cut me off that I had nothing to say. The one time I have nothing to say, you're like, "Oh, were you saying something?" I'm like, "It was a
Oh,
sound
here,
effect."
go. Okay, so
Oh, sorry,
here's the
what?
because
Oh,
I
oh,
go. Uh, I get a lot of people commenting on my video. A lot of guys will get angry at my videos too. Like, I'm so
shocking.
sick and tired. I know, right? I'm so sick and tired of women portraying all men like we're these horrible things with and there's no sense of like irony in the idea that do you think that perhaps women are also tired of having to view men as predators? Like, what's the worst of those two sides?
That's such a good
Do
point.
you not understand?
Because it's like, oh,
Oh,
I know women are tired of constantly being harassed and assaulted and
do you
attacked,
know how hard it is for me?
but it makes me tired to hear about it.
Do women not understand the plight of the cishet white man? Oh,
No, we don't. What is the privilege like?
it's oh God, to have to know that you don't immediately think I am the greatest person on earth. Oh God, where do you get off? And it's just it's constant. I've gotten that comment a
Yes,
100 times at least.
same.
And like I said, without any irony in understanding the other perspective, without any even
Hmm.
attempt to understand why or where that is coming from and what it must feel like to be in a position where you have to worry about those things. And the reason they don't attempt to is because they don't have to. We don't have to worry
Hmm.
about being alone with somebody on or another woman on an alley. If I'm walking in an alley and I see another guy, I am going to be worried, right? What's going to
Yes.
happen? Because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The men are victims of violence,
Oh,
but it's
100%.
to other men. It's not
Usually.
like
Yeah.
usually I think it was something like violent crime. It's like 87%. I don't. You can look up the stat, but it's like some high percentage of all violent crime, and even of the percentage of women that commit violent crime, it's usually as a result of like in self-defense or it's the very specific occasions, right? Random violent crime is almost never done by women.
You know what kills me about this? Like, so let's just pretend in some world these men really are that naive. The ones that are like,
Mhm.
their motorcycles.
Yes.
The South Park motorcycles.
Wildly accurate.
I mean, honestly, they probably would do that.
Yeah, the harumph.
But like, say they live in some naive world where like they really
Hmm.
did not know that. They didn't know the fear they live in from men, particularly
Hmm.
when they're alone and they're isolated, which is why, in the woods you would be. Uh, say they didn't know that. When met with proof that a large majority of women are saying, quite literally, I would rather run
Hmm.
into a bear than a man. When met with this crazy, like, even if you're like, that's a crazy realization to understand that women feel that way, they
Hmm.
don't empathize. They
Hmm.
don't question themselves. They don't question what's going on. Like, why would women think that? Like, what could possibly be going on in society?
Hmm.
They're across the board, almost all of them are like, that's stupid. You're
Hmm.
dumb. Women are
Hmm.
dumb. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're talking about.
Right. The question is if you're tired of being viewed as a violent offender, if you're tired of being viewed as a predator, what are you doing in your personal life, in your day-to-day life to assuage to go against those
Hmm.
views? What are you personally doing to stop the guys that are in your life from acting like those predators, from creating situations that make other people feel unsafe? Right? I made a
Hmm.
video this is probably about a year or two ago now that talked about the I called it the other sidewalk rule, and it was because I go out for walks at night
Hmm.
oftentimes, and in my neighborhood, it's usually I'm the only man out. There's other women that are going out for walks too.
Hmm.
And if I'm in a situation where I turn a corner and I'm right behind a woman, I'll either slow down my pace enough, or I'll tie my shoe, or do
Slow it
something to
down,
give her
Chesko.
enough, yeah, but to give her
Yeah.
enough space where it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like I'm approaching behind her. Or if we're walking toward each other inside the street, I'll usually cross to the other side. I'll
Yeah.
still, I'll smile and nod. If we make eye contact or something like that. But I don't. I give the space, not because I'm like I'm this vicious, violent person, but because I'm aware
Yeah.
that it can be. I'm a big guy, right? I've talked
Yes.
about that before. I don't need to bring that up again.
Stop talking about that.
I know I'm so
I'm
tall. Yeah.
6'5". Did I say that already? I don't know if you know that.
I don't know if you know that, but the fact is that's the
It's
reality.
facts.
And
Yeah.
if this 6'5" big guy, it's not like I'm even like a beanpole 6'5", right? I'm a built like a NFL lineman, right? If I was walking down the street towards you,
Yeah.
the odds are that's a scary sight. If
Yeah.
I saw me walking down the street
Right.
in a dark neighborhood with, in the middle of the night, or not in the middle of the night, I'm not at 3 in the morning.
I walk the streets at night.
That's justified reason to be scared. But at nighttime,
Yeah.
right? Then it's as simple to, and people are like, well, I'm not gonna cross the street. Well, then you're part of the problem,
Right.
right? Because you don't understand. You're like literally perpetrating the idea that slight inconvenience for you is more important to you in your life than possibly making somebody else feel more comfortable, for making their night something where they don't have to feel terrified for a moment.
Well, it's interesting because something that you're talking about in that example, but that's been brought up in this, is that a lot of the men who responded in good faith, in the sense that they responded in the way they actually feel. They were not being satirical, which I
Mhm.
have examples of that too. But when they were like being honest, a lot of what they said was, that's not logical. That doesn't
Mhm.
make sense.
Mhm.
And of course they're being snarky, and it's not even just that
Right.
that's not logical. It's like, you're dumb. You're all dumb. You're stupid.
You emotional women,
You're so emotional.
right?
But when,
Ugh.
gross. Why do you have fears? Ugh. Um, I'm so excited to edit this and hear what that sounds like. There was discourse amongst people about like why are guys reacting this way, and they talked about the fact that men are not exhibiting empathy.
Mhm.
They're calling it logic, but what they're really doing is just straight up not giving a shit about the
Mhm.
way that the other person feels. And you'll see this even when men are arguing with women. If they're misogynistic, they will be like, you're being emotional. You're not being logical. You need to calm down. It's like, yeah, if you had any empathy, you would have emotion as well, because you would have the
Mhm.
ability to put yourself in my shoes and feel my perspective. But you don't. And so you think you're being logical, but what you're really being is withdrawn and unattached. What
Mhm.
you're really being is disconnected and unempathetic to any situation other than yourself.
And also usually be angry, and that's also an emotion. Oh, this is so frustrating to me.
So illogical.
God, why can't you be emotionless like me with my emotionless anger and
I'm punching a wall now because I have no emotion.
look at how little emotion I have. I have to go to the doctor again now.
I broke my hand
Ugh.
because I have no emotion, doc. It's the cause, no emotion. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it is interesting because I really do feel that way. And empathy is a big part of logic as a whole, of understanding
Mhm.
all aspects of a situation. To fully understand a situation, it is important to understand the perspective of those involved. It actually
Right.
is logical to have empathy if you're trying to understand what has happened, why it happened,
Mhm.
and each player within that, why they did what they did, so you can make the best decision. Empathy is a huge part of that. So to just be devoid of it does not make you
Right.
any more logical and does not make you any more intelligent. It just makes you completely detached.
When part of it is, when it comes to privilege, I can't remember the exact theorist, but there was a feminist standpoint
Hmm.
epistemology and theory talks about the wherever you are on the societal hierarchy of privilege,
Hmm.
it's nearly impossible for you to understand fully what it's like to be to somebody else with less
Sure,
privilege than
sure, sure,
you.
sure.
Right. And obviously you can do certain things to listen and understand it and still have empathy to an extent. But it's the idea of your agency as an individual that is less privileged is far more an expertise on all these different things, right? And so that empathy gap that we're talking about with men though stems from that. And then it also stems from, it's not laziness, because laziness is a bad word. I don't like the idea of it's they don't feel any urgency to learn about
Yeah.
the people. Maybe it's egocentrism, because it doesn't affect them personally, right?
Right.
So why am I going to bother attempting to listen to these people that have a different viewpoint than me, because it's never going to hurt me in my own personal life.
And that's such an interesting aspect of it, because then it proves the point.
Right.
They don't engage or care to understand because they don't have empathy for women, which is
Hmm.
why women are scared of them because they don't
Hmm.
have empathy. They don't see them as equals. Like they're not even willing to try to understand where they're coming from. They would rather negate what they're saying. They would rather say that they're dumb. They would rather, degrade them in some way that than actually try and hear them out. Um,
Hmm.
and so I have a couple reactions. I have one reaction that like went super viral. I have a satirical reaction from someone that like absolutely proves the point, not on
Hmm.
purpose. And then I have a nice guy reaction because I'm
Oh,
all about the nice guys, calling them out.
I feel like I want to make a reaction dressed as a bear. The bear's
You
response.
are you are a big bear. Isn't that what Kaylee says? That you're a big
Yeah,
bear? Big
yeah.
teddy
And a
bear?
lot of the men in my DMs also call me that.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very popular in the bear community. So
Different bears, everyone. Different
different
bears.
bears, not from, yeah. Pretty sure everyone listening to our podcast probably has a understanding of
Hey,
maybe.
I'm just saying, we're talking about bears. There's
Yeah.
lots of different bears. That's a
Yep.
man and a bear. So
It's
there you
true.
go. So this guy, he just, what? Someone just has an attitude that just reeks. Like
Hmm.
immediately his attitude
No.
is foul. Oh, it's you. You're you.
Yeah. Of
Just you.
course.
Okay. So he's just like talking to the camera. Okay. I know we've all seen the video where a guy's just going around asking women, would you all rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear? I just want y'all, just hear me out. I want y'all to slow it down and realize social media isn't real life. You pull up all your fucking stats, and of course he starts to do like that nyeh, nyeh, nyeh voice when he's
Hmm.
when he's repeating women because we love that for us. 1 in 6 women will be attacked by a man in their lifetime. Only 1 in 1 million have a chance to be attacked by a bear. Let's think about this. You live and walk past in your life probably hundreds of thousands of men. You probably never fucking walk past a bear, so no shit. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. The chances that I'm going to walk up to a Kodiak bear are slim to none ever in life. I don't even like to go to the zoo. What the fuck are you guys talking about? That's number one, proximity. The way you're bringing that up is ridiculous. The way that that question should have been asked, love that he's correcting it. I'm glad we have his
Hmm.
opinion. Thank God. Thank God.
Hmm.
The way that question should have been asked is, would you rather be in the woods with a bear that wants to kill you or a man that wants to kill you? So that you could get the real fucking answers. And then he feels the need to say the following: I ain't never hit a woman violently. I've never put a hand on a woman. I ain't never sexually assaulted a woman. No, none of that. I ain't never called a woman out of her fucking name. And then he goes, not to her face, and does a little giggle. Love that. So great.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
all that is terrible and wrong, but y'all acting like men are scarier than bears. You ain't watched enough nature documentaries, baby. Go watch one where they try to get the picture of the bear and the light scares him and a startled bear. I swear to fucking God, the earth moved when he got startled. Go watch some videos. The way y'all, and then he did like that, nyah, 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 like
Of
talk
course.
hand gesture.
Yeah.
Y'all dumb as hell.
Can we even if can I real quick his specific question though, would I rather be in the forest with a bear that wants to kill me or a man that wants to kill me? The man that wants to kill me is decidedly scarier. And it's
Yes.
not to say like bears are absolutely scary.
Right, right, right.
Right. I've seen bears charging,
Yeah.
right? But I feel like I have a better if I'm like I don't know, like an intelligent human being
Mm-hmm.
that is there to kill you is a much scarier situation
Mm-hmm.
than a bear that's supposed to be scary,
Right.
right? To his point, men aren't supposed to be terrifying and scary
Right.
because you walk by them. But the idea, his somehow better question is even worse than the original question.
Well, because it's like if a bear wants to kill you, it's either that he's scared or he's hungry, usually, right?
Mhm.
If a man wants to kill you, God only knows you
Yeah.
didn't wink back at him. You didn't give
Yeah.
him attention. Like, there's so many things. And like a bear's behavior being in the woods does not change the bear's behavior.
Mhm.
A man's
Mhm.
behavior being in the woods, aka isolated, aka no one else is around,
Mhm.
drastically changes the way he behaves with a
Yeah.
woman. So like,
It's far more terrifying.
yeah.
Like that's a scary movie right there.
I know. To me, why this is so foul is again like you're hearing women say we're
Right.
the sum of it is we're fucking terrified. That's what women
Mhm.
are saying. We are terrified of men. We can't trust men. We can't trust like upon seeing a man, we do not know his intentions. And 9 times out of 10, if not, 10 out of 10, women have a negative viewpoint because of their own experiences. It's not
Mhm.
coming from nowhere. And so upon hearing this, women are terrified. This fucking attitude of like, okay, let me just tell you why you're dumb. Let me just say
Mhm.
these stats you're pulling up, like these fucking stats are stupid. It's like 1 in 6 women being attacked by a man in their life. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And
One in
that number feels
low.
smaller than it actually is. Yeah, like that it's actually higher.
And then you have like what is it, 1 in 4 being S8 at some
Mhm.
point, which I think is
Mhm.
also a low statistic.
Mhm.
So like the fact that he's like, your stats are dumb. It's like this
Yeah.
stat is crazy. What you just
Yeah.
said is nuts. How do you
Yeah.
not feel the weight of that? Like it's like instead of appreciating women are more scared of men than bears, he literally wants to mansplain statistics to women. It's like, you know what? A bear wouldn't bear splain.
Right.
Like,
But also, it's like the whole mansplaining thing. Do you women not know that there's actually a lot of guys that won't just attack you randomly? Yeah, they fucking know that. That doesn't mean that they're still not the threat. The fact that these numbers exist means that there are enough that it's possible at any time, and we don't have badges on us that say "safe guy" or "person that's not going to hurt you." I've been, because and also it's the idea that there are good guys or nice guys, right, that are capable of still doing horrific things,
mhm,
right? And we're aware and we've seen it enough times, right, of people that in a moment of rage or in a moment, and that rage can come from literally, like you said, from not getting a phone number, from being
mhm,
quote unquote disrespected in a situation where it can come out unexpectedly. Oh, I've never done this before. He's never like that before. It does happen. And so and just writing off then all the fear and the anger and
mhm.
the reality because of the fact that the majority of guys you walk by aren't attacking you is so detached from empathy, which goes back to what we were talking about what it's like not knowing of these million guys that you're walking by every day. Which one would be the one if they were alone with me that wouldn't just walk by me? And that's I can't fully understand that. Like especially as a 6'5" sorry,
The bear of a man.
as the bear of a man that I am, right?
Yeah.
I don't have I have to listen. The only empathy I can have, real empathy I can have, is by listening to people that have to live in their bodies in a world with people like me,
Right,
right? That
right.
have to walk by me at nighttime, right? And just writing it off as dumb ignores the reality of the world that we're in, right? Ignores the real feelings, the valid feelings that people have.
Additionally, like that was a video by a man made for a man. He's pretending to talk to women,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
this
Yeah.
dude is saying, and I think that's also what's so gross about it, is like this dude is clearly talking to other men like, listen to me talk down to women about how
Mhm.
stupid they are." And then the boys are gonna be like, "Ha, ha, ha." Of course, yeah, women had a lot to say about that. And he did like an apology that was kind of mocking. It was
Mhm.
awful. Let's jump ahead because there's lots of
Sure.
reactions to this, and as there are lots of men on the internet. So this next one was from a male hiker, a hiking
Mhm.
enthusiast,
Hmm.
and let's just say he didn't like that he almost took it as a personal attack on male hikers.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you what he said, and then I want you to reserve judgment as to his like intent, because then I'm going to read the comments.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what he says. As a male hiker, I didn't realize that we had such a poor reputation when it comes to women. I really don't think it's deserved. I mean, are women getting mauled by a bunch of male hikers somewhere? I mean, is there an epidemic of women being attacked in the woods? 'Cause like I have a GPS, I could help you. If you're lost, I've got sun protection, and he holds up, you know, a little can of sunscreen. If you're hungry, I've got almonds. If you've got blistered or you're injured, I've got moleskin. If you're cold, I've got hand warmers or stuff like that, but you'd rather run into a bear than me. I mean, all right, that's fine, I guess. Okay. So that's how he came off, like very much trying to.
You asked me to hold off, so I'm waiting because I do have things to say.
Yeah, because very much trying to come off like I'm just this nice guy. Of course, there's a little bit of things in there, right? Where he's like, definitely. I mean,
Hmm.
I didn't know people were getting mauled by a bunch of male hikers, like hint, hint, right? Okay, but here's the comments. Someone said, it's the nice guy energy for me. You would think it was me, but it wasn't. And he goes, it's sad that a guy being nice must be hiding something sinister, and you see the worst of people. Another comment, there aren't shelters across America filled with women getting away from bears.
Hmm.
Bars. He said, nor are they trying to get away from random guys hiking in the woods. We don't deserve your prejudice. Yeah, heavy eye roll from Chesko. You can't see it, but it's happening.
Sorry. The martyr, the wannabe martyr to
Yeah.
the victim, and like, oh
The
oh
prejudice
my
against
God.
male
Yeah.
hikers.
Yes.
Everybody knows that when it comes to prejudice in the society, it's the male hikers that get it the worst.
Yeah.
Um,
They're the true victims in this whole situation.
this guy was white also, just so we
No.
shocking. Okay, and then another person goes, yeah, definitely taking the bear over this guy. And he says, and if the bear attacks you, I'll still try to patch you up and help you. Or would you prefer another bear over me at that point as well? Like, you want two bears.
Oh,
Do you want the bear to patch your wounds? Honestly, I might take the bear with a band-aid.
right.
And then someone else says, something's telling me this is not the guy to trust in the woods. And he said, says the person who picked bears over any man based on fear and prejudice. So that's kind of a tonal shift from,
Yeah.
I'm just a guy with moleskin and almonds.
Yeah, I'm such a good person. It's the obvious. I hate when people do it. I had no idea that people were feeling this way. Let me make this about me. Because this is really important that you all know that me personally, I'm a good guy. If you see me in the woods,
I give you almonds.
yeah,
But that's the thing is like he's trying to give that off, but he's still adding these subtle little things like
yeah.
I didn't know they were getting mauled by a bunch of male hikers. Like
Mhm.
again, hint hint, you're dumb. Is there an epidemic of women being attacked in the woods? Which like yeah, absolutely there is. But also just like the idea of like we're talking about women being afraid of men,
Mhm.
and instead he's like, here's how men help you in the woods.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's
what?
the I feel like he thought the gotcha to the bear, I'd still help you. Even if the bear, I feel like he felt like, look at how wonderful I am. And that
Yeah.
if I walked upon you, your bleeding body on the forest,
I'd give you almonds.
even though you were mean to me in this
Yeah,
hypothetical situation,
with a hypothetical
I'd
bear.
still help you from this hypothetical. I look how wonderful I am.
Oh, it's so. But then he, in the comment section, like he immediately shows his true colors, which is
Right.
he's not some do-gooder, like, golly shucks. I
Hmm.
didn't know it was a problem for women. I've got my almonds. Like, that's what he's coming off as. But the
Right.
second he gets in the comment section, he's like, prejudice. This is
Hmm.
prejudice. Like,
And that's
dude.
where you always see that, because there are situations, I'm sure you've been there, I've been there, where I genuinely am like, oh, here, I'll give you a great example. All right. Recently I made a joke about Sarah J, or about what's Sarah J Moss, I don't know, the book of there's like a fairy porn book or a fairy smut book that's very popular
Out of my
among.
realm of
Yeah, it's kind of
expertise.
like 50 Shades of Grey, but in a fairy kingdom, is how someone described it with me.
Wow.
Anyway, so I made a joke. I knew nothing about it. I haven't read the book, I've done no
Sure.
research about it. And then one of my followers tagged me in a video of a creator explaining why this author is very problematic. And so
Oh,
I was like,
that's
oh,
good to know.
I genuinely had no idea.
Right, right,
And
right.
I took down the video. I was like, it's this, there's no point.
Right.
And I engaged in the comment, went back and forth, and I thanked her for letting me
Sure.
know about this, because
Yeah.
I literally, that was a situation where I just was completely ignorant. I'd heard of this book because I'm on Book Talk, and I'll see people occasionally talk about this particular thing. And it wasn't, and once I was informed about this thing that I really was, poor me, I didn't know about it,
Golly.
instead of just being all defensive. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's problematic then, that I'm and essentially advertising for this problematic author
Sure, sure.
on my page, when that, now that I know this new information.
Yes, I adjust.
That's what you do. It's okay, because you get so many guys like, well, you can't make a mistake. I'm so afraid I'm gonna offend somebody or do something. It's, people make mistakes all the time.
That's such bullshit.
It's only when you hear it and you're like, fuck you. Like when your response is like,
Prejudice.
I'm a good person though. I'm a good person. Tell me I'm good. Right? That's
Yeah.
where it's like, even if that's what you're feeling on the inside, right? You have to be aware,
Yeah.
just understand that it's okay to be called out and educated, or
Yeah.
called in. I don't remember that, however you want to call it.
Whatever.
And to change your ways, right? That's
Yeah.
okay to hear other viewpoints and to learn and grow. It's almost like that's what we all should be doing with things. We
Almost.
can't know everything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but it's like, again, like all of these examples just prove the point that they're going
Mhm.
against, which is this guy is trying to showcase himself. I'm just a naive guy.
I'm just a hiker boy.
I'm a hiker boy with almonds and moleskin and band-aids and hand warmers, But then immediately is
Mhm.
aggressive. Is
Mhm.
immediately aggressive in the comments, is firing back at anybody who has a critique of him, who doesn't like him, or who, it's not even just the comments that are against him. It's like anything that he perceives to be against men, even like the
Mhm.
shelters comment. There aren't shelters across America filled with women getting away from bears. He
Right.
makes it about himself, nor are they trying to get
Mhm.
away from random guys hiking. It's like, well, actually they might be, first of all. But secondly, it's like he is proving that he put forth an energy and an image that is not the truth.
Mhm.
That was not his intention. It's not that he was some guy who was like, I didn't know about this, I'm just nice. He's a guy who is pissed off and thinks that the content is prejudicial. Prejudicial?
Mhm.
Prejudicial. Um,
Prejudiciary.
but point being, like, it's a rough one. He's not being honest. He was not
Mhm.
honest in his true intention and his true feelings when he made that. And that's what we're fucking talking about, is a bear. A bear's not going to do that.
And that's all it comes down to.
If a
Mhm.
bear wants to eat you, you're going to know. If a bear's
Mhm.
calm, you're going to know. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm just a bear. I'm just a bear out on the trail, just looking for a little place to put my paws, and then attack you. They're like,
Mhm.
I'm going to attack you. Here's my
Well, it's good.
energy.
Like, it's like the second when you make a statement, or whether it's problematic, whether it's honest or whatever, and you learn new information, um, the way that you take it in, right, is more important than even the initial
Yes.
problematic thing you said. The way you understand, the way you hear it, because you can now no longer claim you were ignorant to how people were actually feeling. Now that claim is out the window. However you felt originally, whether or not it was honest, is now gone, because
Yep.
now you have actual women in your comment section telling you exactly why this is why they would respond that way, or why they feel this way. And now when you have that, ignorance is now gone. Now we're seeing the real you.
Right.
Now we're seeing the true you, even if we want to give all the benefit of the doubt and say that
Yeah.
it really was recorded in good faith, now out of ignorance, even though we know it wasn't, right? But even if that was true,
Sure.
then all of us that benefit of the doubt goes away the
Yeah.
second we see reality come out in the comment section.
But Chesko, I don't think we talk enough about the plight of the white male hiker.
We really do. We need to spend more time talking about
We
that.
need to do a full episode. I mean, God, they've got it rough out there. They're just trying to hike and eat almonds.
Do you know how much almonds cost?
Do you know the risk of dehydration on the trail? They're fighting for their lives out there.
Can I do a complete aside story real quick that has nothing to do with what we're talking about?
1,000%. Always.
That's by the way, I told Dr. Roxanne Naya last
I
week.
love
I
Naya.
know. I told her, I was like, without Reagan here, hopefully we can stay on track, because normally I'll just go off and Reagan will be like, let's go back to what we're talking.
I'm the one who's taking us back on course, we have a problem, just for the record.
But that's the beauty of our podcast, I think, is that we go all over the place.
Yeah.
Rarely are we focused.
No.
But anyway, so I thought this is my ignorance of health. Okay, I thought, trail mix is what you associate with health.
Oh no.
Right? In my mind, this is a couple years back. This was like during COVID, and I was like, I was gaining some weight during COVID, and so I bought trail mix thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a healthy snack to eat during COVID, so that I'm not like just eating chips and other bad food for me. And I'm eating it and I'm like, and then my meals are healthy and I'm just snacking on trail mix and I'm just gaining more and more weight. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm eating healthy. And what is going on? Because I forgot that trail mix is for when you're walking trails constantly.
When you need calories.
And I realized that what I was eating, this small little pack of each one of them, was like 1,000 calories.
It's insane, especially if there's like M&Ms in there.
There was. So I gained about 15 pounds of trail mix calories for it was bad. I could not believe you have no idea. You know those giant Costco, I don't know if you ever seen bags of like M&M trail mix that they have? Yeah, I was going through those like one
daily.
And like just like eating probably 10,000 calories of extra trail mix.
I had that same experience with protein bars.
Yeah.
And I was training and I remember I would just destroy them like 6 a day. And I remember talking to my trainer at the time because I don't know what the hell I was doing with the trainer, and I remember bragging to her and I was like, her name was Ashley. She was great. I was like, Ashley, I've been eating so healthy. I've been eating like just bars and blah, blah, blah. And mind you, these are like chocolate covered, like sugar
of course.
filled.
Oh, I've had them.
Oh yeah. It's sweet, like hurt your teeth sweet, and she was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't even eat food. I just eat. She's like, that's really bad for you. She's like, why are you not making meals and eating? I was like, because it's healthy. Because I'm eating candy bars. Oh, she was like, you're an idiot.
I hired a trainer last year thinking it was like, if I'm paying for it, I'm clearly going to show up and use it was at like a train gym.
In a perfect world.
And so I paid for a year of training. They allow you to use them later if you miss your if you don't use them weekly. So I have 1 month left. I paused my membership because I'm paying $10 a month deposit right now.
Yeah.
I have 1 month yet left to use I think it's something like I had 2 per week for about 80 training.
It's gonna be a rough month.
So I'm trying right now to get in good enough shape that I can unpause my membership and just go every day and use them all up and then cancel my membership and never make that mistake again because it was so dumb. I spent so much money. I can't just do it. There's so much money that I have paid them.
Dude, so my mom paid for me. I love Orange Theory, but it's super expensive. But it kicks your butt.
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it for a while.
The best shape I've ever been in, Orange Theory. But it's because I have an addictive personality. And so I was like addicted to working out. Yeah. Anyways, so that's not great. But so my mom is like gifted me with like a month or 2 of training, which is super, super nice. And I got in there and like, I have something wrong with me mentally, aside from all the things you already know. But like, I don't recognize like, oh, it's been years. You can't go as hard as when you used to train a lot. So I get on there and I'm like, I got this. And I crank the tread and I'm running. And like, I literally look at the screen and I am red. I am in the red immediately, which is like your heart. You're supposed to be in the orange. It's like blue, green.
Yeah.
Orange is like you're pushing it in a good way. Red is like, okay, calm down. And I was red the whole class. I kept waiting for like one of the people at the front desk to come and be like, "Ma'am, I think you're dying. Think I think you should calm down." And I was so sore. I like couldn't walk.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
exactly why I went to my first training session with the when I actually did go for the 2 weeks before I stopped going. And so this is one of the reasons why. And he was like, I was like, well, I haven't, I really have not been working out. I've been post COVID,
yeah.
not doing what I used to. So I mean, let's do like a real beginner's pace. And so halfway through the session, I'm literally dry heaving into a garbage can. And so he was like, why don't we, yeah, why, he was like, why don't we end a little early today? I was like, I think that's a great
You know
idea.
it's bad when the trainer is ending this.
Yeah. And I came back
Oh,
the next time and I was like, do you have like less than like what would you, if I was
you have a
like,
child's class.
yeah, if I came in here and you like couldn't help but be disgusted by every choice I've ever made, how would you work out with me then? And we found a nice little
Oh my God.
routine to do, but I was so
That's
embarrassed by
so
it that
funny.
that's one of the reasons why gyms are so terrible. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how people go to. I actually liked Orange Theory. I went there
I
for a
love Orange
while.
Theory.
The schedule
It's
of it was hard for me to fit in. That was the only issue.
yeah.
But I would go like there's so many, and maybe it's like the Los Angeles thing. I go to the gym and there's like models everywhere
No.
looking like, and there are people that look like me, right, that are using some of the machines. But like where the trainer took me to was like with all the fancy, like
The
the non,
goddess section.
yeah, with all the, I don't know if it was supposed to be motivating, but it just made me feel terrible about every choice I've ever
Why
made.
am I here? Yeah, it's the thing that annoys me the most
Yeah.
is my therapist and my psychiatrist, because I have both, tell me like working out's good for your mental health. And
Yeah.
then, even my like doctor was like, it's good for PMDD, all the things that are wrong with me. And I'm like, okay, okay. I've been
Hmm.
working out. My mental health is substantially better. I'm like, oh God, dang it. I want it, you want it to be wrong.
Well, that's what this is. It's the things we know are true, but we don't want to be true.
Yep.
Like I've eaten this past month, ever since I had my surgery, I have eaten the healthiest I've ever eaten. I'm eating, 5 to 10 servings of fruit and vegetables every day.
Good for
A lot of like
you.
really, really like a lot of real just good stuff. I've been raising it part of it because I don't ever want to experience that week again. It was so
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And diet is a go way. And I feel better than I have ever felt. And I'm like, are you
Shut
telling
up,
me
a bitch.
I could have been doing this the whole time?
Why didn't
I
anyone tell me?
but bad food tastes so good.